the most creative approaches, or one of the most innovative approaches. It's the idea of participatory budgeting. So basically allocating budget in a participatory way, in which you first, there's like a multi-step approach. In the first phase, you're going to collect ideas from your residents as a city. So you're going to hear like, okay, how do you want to improve your neighborhood? We've got maybe 1 million or 500,000 to spend. So we're going to first start by collecting your ideas. What are things that you want to see improved? Then typically you go to second phase, where you're gonna do project development. So after the first phase, the city is often gonna with all those ideas collected, let's say we've got about 200 ideas for your neighborhood. We're gonna try to first put them together. How we Citizenlab will help there is we are using some text analytics in the backend that will actually detect the similarities, and they will say, hey, here are a lot of people talking about safer streets. Here they're talking about the lack of greenery, and we want more, maybe also more room for kids to play. So we will detect kind of those bigger priorities and actually suggest people to collaborate and merge those different ideas into projects. And that would be a second step, project development. So you're actually, and that is again that's a good moment for a face-to-face moment to say, hey, here all the people who had those ideas and feel strong about having, like more space for their kids to play in the neighborhood. Well, here, let's develop a project together. And then they start developing the project, they start thinking about what would be needed, what would potentially be the budget that is needed, and so on. And then you get into and then you end up with, let's say we got from our 200 ideas to about 20 different projects that have been developed. And then you get to the third step, which is the voting part, the participatory budgeting. So the way that we do that is you would have that 500,000, let's say. You've got the 20 projects, but if you take the sum of all those 20 projects, you would be at a budget of 10 million. So you have to make choices. And it's a very playful way for also people to realize that resources are finite, and that you have to work under restrictions as a government to involve them and to sensibilize them in really a decision maker's way of thinking, and ask them, would you rather like do that big project here to have that new playground that's going to cost us about 450,000, and then maybe you have some left for maybe large chessboard, whatever in the playground, or would you rather distribute it over to some smaller projects? So that is something that we see happening a lot these days, participatory budgeting. Cool. We're doing it for climate actions as well, because a lot of cities have their climate action plan ready, but now they're asking the residents, okay, we've got like a fund of 200,000 to invest in climate actions. Which actions can we take together? And that's how they promote people to take action as well in their neighborhoods. Okay. And then the last phase is obviously following the implementation of the projects that have been chosen.
Okay.